Good evening and welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Samad. Thanks so much for joining us. While a massive fire at a local Chase bank has been contained, the aftermath continues to affect the area. Torrance Fire Department continues to be on call after responding to hotspots for the past several days. Last Friday, Torrance Fire fought a blaze at Chase Bank on the corner of Hawthorne and Carson. Once they arrived on scene, they found out a car had crashed into the building, causing a massive fire that eventually led to a complete loss of the building. Both occupants of the car were treated. Officials say they attempted an interior attack on the fire, but after the roof started to collapse, they shifted to defensive operations in partnership with Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, and Los Angeles County. At the moment, City of Torrance is partnering with Chase Management to respond to Chase customers. Fire officials say there are security guards on location that are securing the property around the clock. Damage assessment still needs to be done in regards to the safety deposits. However, the City of Torrance Office of Emergency Services are working on recovery process. Authorities say to take caution when approaching the area. Torrance Police and Fire are both investigating. Chase is asking Chase Delano customers to visit the Chase Torrance main branch at 2121 Torrance Boulevard. Customers can request to speak to the Chase Delano branch manager at 310-618-9950. If you know someone who gives back to the community through volunteer work, you can now express your gratitude. The Torrance South Bay YMCA Good Neighbor Award nominations are underway, an honor that is given to people who selflessly give their time and talents to help others while receiving little to no acknowledgement. The deadline is this Friday, and you have to fill out a form describing your nominated heroes' community involvement and how they can give their time to help others. The nominees don't have to volunteer for the Y, but staff says they are seeking out help from the community leaders to identify deserving candidates. The 2019 volunteer awardees will be honored at the Torrance South Bay YMCA's 73rd annual celebration awards dinner on Thursday, October 17th. We will have the nomination form on our NEWSBREAK Live blog. A local program to help students succeed in school is looking for your donations. The Volunteer South Bay Harbor Long Beach Center is collecting single, individually packaged youth or adult toothbrushes and or travel-size toothpaste for their dental supply drive. It runs now through September. Officials say for many of the students they serve through Operation Teddy Bear, they don't have a toothbrush, and some even say they share it with other family members. Operation Teddy Bear is a volunteer-powered literacy program that provides school bags filled with books, education materials, and wellness tools. You can also support the drive by adding items to the center's Amazon wish list. The Torrance office is located on Cravens Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. California pizza kitchens across the state are giving back to a family of a fallen CHP officer. Today, if you dine in with CPK, 20% of your check will be donated to the Police and Fire, the Fallen Heroes organization, who are raising money for California Highway Patrol Officer Andre Moyer's family. 34-year-old Moyer was killed on August 12th during a traffic stop when he was filling out paperwork to impound a car. You can also support through takeout, catering, or delivery orders. The Pizza with a Purpose fundraiser will take place all day today. You can bring in this flyer to present to your server or mention the fundraiser to them. Moyer served with the CHP for more than 3 years and was assigned to the Riverside area. You can also donate to the family as well by going to fallenheroes.org. The #1 beauty brand in Korea is soon coming to the Delano Fashion Center. Officials announced today Innisfree to their growing roster of retailers. Innisfree is anticipated to open in the fall on the main level near Victoria's Secret. Director of Marketing and Business Development for the Delano Fashion Center, Chris Yates, says they're proud to partner with the eco-conscious brand such as Innisfree. The brand is committed to promoting beauty through natural ingredients at reasonable prices. Their range of skincare solutions are formulated for all skin types and concerns. They use ingredients from the Korean island of Jeju, a sensorial oasis with volcanic origins. Other stores that opened at Delano this month were Pro Image Sports and Extreme Board Shop. A local business is teaming up with a Torrance brewery to give back. Phenomenex, a global technology leader that develops novel analytic chemistry solutions to help researchers, is hosting a trivia night at the Strand Brewery until 6 p.m. tonight. They're raising money for UNICEF and plan to have 7 rounds of questions. So far, the business has raised $975, and their goal is $2,000 that will help children around the world. Officials say Phenomenex Philanthropy Group enjoys hosting events that help others. Every other month, they put on an event. During Halloween time this year, they plan to collect leftover candy to send to troops. Strand Brewery is located at 2201 Dominguez Street. A 70-year-old chorale is looking for new talent to join their group. The Los Cancioneros Master Chorale, directed by Alan Robert Petker, is hosting its second audition tonight. If you're interested but haven't signed up to audition, you can still get a chance by emailing auditions at lcmasterchorale.com. Some audition requirements are singing a solo piece, a slight read of a voice part from a chorale selection, clap rhythms, and singing intervals. If you're accepted into the chorale, you'll be required to make a commitment to attend Tuesday evening rehearsals. The group is a nonprofit organization that started in 1949 by a group of neighbors from the Hollywood Riviera. The North Torrance Wellfield project is on its 3rd phase of construction. Reporter Jen Marua has the story.
This 2-acre site is the future home of 2 new wells and a storage reservoir that will service the city of Torrance and its residents.
Well, the purpose of having the wells in the city of Torrance is so we can use our own properties, our own right-of-ways, and service our own residents here in the city of Torrance. Obviously, if we had to go outside of the city or something like that, we would have to buy more property and have longer pipes. So everything's much more economical having it right here.
John Dettel, Torrance Engineering and Project Manager, says imported water prices have spiked due to former drought conditions in California.
Currently, we buy most of our water from MWD. When we complete this project, we'll be able to maximize our groundwater rights and have a local or more of a local water resource than we already do.
And that's why the North Torrance Wellfield project construction behind Yukon Elementary is important for the future. Officials say this lot was an ideal location for construction. Andrew Bordrick, Waterworks Engineers Design Project Manager, assisted in calculating the design of pipelines and functions of the wells.
This project utilizes the 3 wells. Well number 9, which is at McMaster Park, which is an existing well actually. Well number 10, which is on this water site here, and then also well 11, which is kind of on the south, I guess it'd be the southeast side of Yukon Elementary School.
All 3 wells will feed into a tank where fresh water will be stored.
Another improvement of the project is at McMaster Park, the existing well 6 and existing steel tank at that location will be demolished as it's no longer utilized for water production purposes, and McMaster Park will be expanded and will have a new grass area for the residents of Torrance.
The city has hosted 1 community meeting so far where the project was discussed and questions were answered.
The project has very important benefits to the city in that right now we only have 1 operating well for the city of Torrance, that's owned by the city of Torrance. And so one of the benefits of this project is that if something was to happen like a major earthquake and we lost MWD water, we would have a local supply of water to make sure that our residents still had water. That's one of the important things.
For Torrance City Cable, I'm Jen Marua.
Thanks, Jen. If you'd like to learn more about the North Torrance Wellfield project, there will be a North Torrance Homeowners Association meeting on October 10th. All construction is projected to be complete by January 2021. Now let's get to the weather. Today there was a high of 80 degrees. Tonight there will be a low of 68 degrees here in Torrance. Then tomorrow there will be a high of 79 degrees with some clouds and a low of 68. Then on Thursday will be slightly cooler with the same lows. It's the first week back to school for Torrance students, and the district is hosting a special screening to help parents and students stay informed. Tomorrow and on Thursday, North High School and West High School will host a free screening of Like, a documentary about the impacts of social media and the effects of technology on the brain. The goal of the movie is to inspire people to self-regulate. Registration is not required. You can just show up at one of the locations you see on the screen. There's a showing at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day. The event was possible thanks to the partnerships between TUSD, Torrance Council of PTAs, and each screening will also include a panel discussion featuring Volunteer Center South Bay Harbor Long Beach's President and CEO, Sarah Myers. A one-of-a-kind show is coming to Torrance, and you can get a front row seat. La Boheme by the LA Opera will be brought to life at Columbia Park. The one-of-a-kind performance will be transmitted live in high-definition video from Dorothy Chandler Pavilion on a large LED screen at the park. The performance will transport you to the bustling cafes and hidden corners of 19th century Paris in Giacomo Puccini's La Boheme. You can RSVP now for the event that will take place on Saturday, September 28th. Gates open at 5:30 and broadcast is set at 7:30. Now before the show, there will be fun family activities, food trucks, and other performances. You can RSVP right now at laopera.org/opera at the park and get a free gift, attendance tips, and other updates. Now, despite the hot weather, it sure is starting to taste like fall at Starbucks. Starting today, their popular pumpkin spice latte returned to the menu, but this year they're hoping to satisfy more taste buds with the debut of its pumpkin cream cold brew drink for the first time. The new fall drink combines spice flavoring and cold brew coffee topped with pumpkin cream. A 16-ounce pumpkin cream cold brew has 250 calories and 31 grams of sugar, while a pumpkin spice latte has 380 calories and 50 grams of sugar. And if these don't fit your appetite, Starbucks also brought back its salted caramel mocha and pumpkin-flavored baked items. Starbucks has sold nearly 500 million pumpkin spice lattes over the past decade and a half. Now, if you're a Disney fan, well, there'll be one more place where you can experience the magic of some of your favorite characters. Target announced that it will bring a Disney store into its locations starting this fall. They have plans to open 25 Disney-branded shop-in-shop locations in October. The store will average about 750 square feet each and will be located near children's clothing and toys. It will feature more than 450 items, including more than 100 products that were previously only available at Disney retail locations. Officials say it will have interactive displays, photo opportunities, and music, to name a few. They have plans to open 40 additional locations by October 2020. So far, there is only one location listed in the state in Northern California. Southern California Whole Foods are facing a recall on a sweet treat. It's one of 4 regions that are affected. Southern Pacific Whole Foods market stores are removing decorated red apple cookies because they contain eggs, but it wasn't listed in the ingredients. Officials from the United States Food and Drug Administration say people who may be allergic or have a sensitivity can be at risk if they consume the product. They were sold at stores by the pound and had an available date through August 20th. The sugared apple cookie has caused one allergic reaction to date. Customers who purchase this product can bring a receipt into a store for full refund. If you have any additional questions, you can call the number on your screen. Now let's get to events. This Saturday, the Barnes & Noble location on Hawthorne Boulevard is hosting a back-to-school educator appreciation shopping weekend. Pre-kindergarten through 12th grade teachers can enjoy 25% off most books, toys, games, movies, and music. The event will take place again on September 7th. This Saturday, you can bring out your blankets, lawn chairs, and snacks for the last movies in the park at Hickory Park. The city will feature E.T. starting at 8 p.m. The free event is put on by the City of Torrance Community Services Department and local homeowners associations. Well, in just 2 minutes, Vandana Sheth, a registered dietitian nutritionist, will join me to talk about back-to-school nutrition and how you can plan with your families to lead a healthy lifestyle throughout the school year. We'll be back in just a few.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
You can't sit here.
Don't add her to the chain.
It was just a joke.
We're not friends. Why are you talking to me?
He started it.
She's so gross.
Lame. Loser.
Weirdo.
I've said and done things before that I'm not proud of.
Just as I've been hurt by others.
The thing is, this is not who I am. And it's definitely not who I want to be.
I don't want to be cruel.
I don't want to spread gossip.
I don't want to be a body shamer.
I don't want to exclude anyone.
I don't want to make anyone feel lonely.
Left out.
Hurt.
We have the power to be more.
We can create a kinder world.
It's not that hard.
We just need to stop.
Take a moment
And consider others.
before we speak.
And before we act.
Be more.
Be more.
Be more.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Welcome back to the second half of NewsBreak Live. Joining me is registered dietitian, nutritionist, and certified diabetes educator, Vandana Sheth. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Hiba. Great to be back.
And this is a very exciting time. You're also a parent. Students across the South Bay are heading back to school this week, and this means back to a new routine or old routine.
Right. This can be a fun time, but it can also be very stressful for families getting adjusted to a new school year, new classes. But besides getting the backpack and the pencils and the notebooks, it's important to prioritize family nutrition. So I have 5 simple tips for families. Number 1, make sure you get your kids a jump start with a good breakfast. Number 2, you need to get organized, so make sure you have some ideas for meals and snacks before you head to the store to buy things. 3, you want to stock up on healthy choices. Stock up your pantry, your freezer, and your fridge with these options so that you can put these meals together. 4, get your kids involved, because when they get involved, they're more likely to be following through and trying some of these foods that you've so painstakingly packed for them. And finally, you want to plan some simple family meals in the evening, because life is crazy busy. You have kids having homework, projects, after school activities. So if you have a simple meal that's done for you, it's easy to follow through.
That's great. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what kind of meals parents can cook up. But you just mentioned take your kids grocery shopping and pack the lunches with them. Tell me a little bit more about that, because sometimes parents don't think about that. They're like, okay, I'm just going to get through the shopping experience and go back and cook up a storm.
Right. And so it's not always possible to take your kids with you to the store, but when possible, I highly encourage families to take your kids, because they can explore new foods with you. You can actually make decisions together. Make it fun. Maybe give them a theme. They can pick a new fruit or a vegetable for the week that they are more invested in trying. You could even have them start reading labels. Show them what to look for. That way they can compare and come up with ideas of what fits the budget as far as cost, but also as their nutritional budget. So that might be some fun ways to get kids involved. And then at home, once you have those groceries, they can come up with ideas on how to put these together. If they're older, let them play around, let them find recipes to use these foods. It may be fun as a family.
But also, while they're grocery shopping, let them pick and help out with the decision-making process, right?
Absolutely, because I think when kids are invested in that process, they're more excited about trying something. Maybe they can touch and feel. If they're really young, it's fun to just pick a color for the day. They can pick something that's green or purple or red, and it can be fun.
So how can we pick healthy options when we're shopping? What are some tips?
So I usually always tell my clients to make sure you're picking whole foods whenever possible. So think about whole grains. So if you're picking bread, look for the word whole in front of it. Doesn't mean you can't have something that's not whole, but I'm just saying if possible, go with whole grain bread or brown rice and pasta. There are so many new types of pasta There's bean pasta and lentil pasta. So some of those products. Pick some protein. It can be meat from the deli. Go with low sodium deli meat that has less of the preservatives, less of the sodium. Go with beans and lentils. Go with canned products. It's okay to go with canned products. Definitely load up on fresh fruits and vegetables. And if you don't have the time to shop and chop and prep, go ahead and get frozen vegetables. It's okay. That way you still get those foods in. And of course, dairy or dairy alternatives, because that can be a good source of calcium, vitamin D, important nutrients for kids.
I think from everything you've mentioned, the goal is a well-rounded meal. So what are some great examples? Let's start with breakfast first.
So breakfast, mornings can be really chaotic and busy for most families, right? And so if you can have an action plan, think at least 2 to 3 food groups. It could be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as a piece of whole grain toast, top it off with some nut butter or seed butter, and then throw in some fruit on the side, maybe a cup of milk or yogurt on the side. Could be a yogurt parfait. It could be just great Greek yogurt or Icelandic yogurt topped with some fruit and some crunchy cereal. Could be high fiber cereal with low fat milk. It could be oatmeal with nuts and seeds and some fruit. So it can be very simple.
And I think you also mentioned, we're going to talk about this a little bit later more, but you can actually prep breakfast.
Exactly. So often people think that you have to wait till the morning, and mornings get crazy busy. So if it's something as simple as cereal and milk, go ahead and set the table up. Have a placemat, have the bowl and spoon, and have the cereal box on the kitchen table. And that way all you have to do is just pour the milk in and it's ready to go. If it's something like eggs that you want to serve your kids, make a big batch of egg muffins. That way you can use them throughout the week. It's so easy. It doesn't have to be complicated, but definitely have some plan ahead of time.
So let's talk about lunch and snacks.
Sure.
What are some great few examples that are easy and delicious?
So again, when it comes to lunch, kids don't really have as much time as we used to when they get around to lunch. They, of course, want to socialize with their friends or get on the play equipment if they're younger. So make sure your lunch that you send for your kids is easy to eat, doesn't take a lot of time. Something simple to do is maybe create a box that's similar to what you would find at a popular coffee store. It could be snack-like boxes. Make sure they have compartments, so fill it with whole grain crackers, some cheese cubes. It could have some nuts and seeds. It could have some fruit and some veggies. That way they can pick and choose and make their meal. It could be, again, something as simple as a yogurt parfait, because you got the protein, the carbs, some fruit, and some nuts and seeds. It could be a quesadilla. It could be a bean burrito. It could be a wrap, a sandwich. Easy ideas.
And an idea that you mentioned to me earlier was also that you can actually have your child have breakfast for lunch.
Right, and that's sometimes fun, kind of like having breakfast for dinner. Same idea can work for lunch. So it could be either a toasted waffle or a pancake that's cut into strips, and then serve it with some nut or seed butter and have some fruit on the side. And that way, again, they've got that combination. It's fun, it's different.
And you're mentioning fruits, veggies, all of these high nutrient foods, but how can parents make sure their kids are getting all these nutrients? Is there a way to gauge that?
Sure, and so I often see families in my office and they're concerned if their kids are getting the adequate nutrients. So something to think about is when it comes to children's nutrition, there's no one meal or one snack, just like for adults, that's going to make or break the bank. You want to look at the overall picture, look at the overall pattern. Are they eating a variety of foods throughout the day so that they can meet their nutritional needs? You can think about the USDA My Plate. That's a great visual cue because it is a plate that's divided into compartments to show you what types of foods and how much to eat. So you want to encourage having half their plate with fruits and vegetables, 1/4 of the plate with some kind of whole grains, 1/4 of the plate with some kind of lean protein, and then a side of either dairy or dairy alternatives. That way you've guaranteed getting all those foods.
Right now, it's a trend. A lot of emphasis on non-dairy items. Depending on your child, does that really matter? As a registered dietitian, is there anything you recommend?
Well, it really depends on the reason why you're choosing a dairy alternative. You can find some great products in the market. Actually, in the dairy and dairy alternative section, it's booming. There's so many different varieties of products. You want to look at the label and identify why are you choosing this product. Are you as a family not doing dairy? If that's the case, you want to make sure, is this just a replacement for the beverage? Or are you looking for all the nutrients that's missing if you don't do dairy? So then maybe you want to ensure you're getting protein from some other source, because say, for example, almond milk can be an excellent choice if it's fortified with calcium, vitamin D, and B12, but it's going to be pretty low in calories, pretty low in protein. So is it just a beverage to add, but you're getting calcium, like other nutrients from other foods? Or if you're looking for an exact replacement for dairy, soy would be a good option, because soy beverage is very close to dairy in terms of the nutrition profile. You could also look at hemp milk, there's cashew milk, there's sesame milk, there's pea protein milk, there's so many options. So it just depends on why you're choosing these products. They all have a place, but just figure out where it's fitting. And if that's something you're interested in, a dietitian can definitely help you decide which is the right product for you.
And you also mentioned going to a registered dietitian, nutritionist is important, especially if you have concerns about your child's health in certain ways.
Absolutely. Just like you see a specialist physician for different reasons, a dietitian can be a wonderful resource for anyone concerning their children's health and nutrition. Often I see clients with who are frustrated because their children have very specific food choices. They are labeled picky. I don't think any kid is really picky. It's just a matter of trying different varieties of foods, and you can get them to where they need to be.
I want to talk about some of the food trends before we talk about the book that you recently released. But I think at the bottom line is that studies show that poor diet relates to poor performance in school. So talk to me a little bit about the health trends and how people can just keep their children healthy.
Absolutely. So research has shown that kids who have a good breakfast are more capable of focusing in class. They have better academic performance. They have a better mood throughout the day. They have better cognitive abilities on their testing scores. So definitely getting that jump start is important. There was also a study that showed that kids who are hydrated well throughout the day seem to have greater cognitive flexibility in terms of switching gears when it comes to different classes. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. And there were other studies that showed that kids who had more sugar-sweetened beverages, more heavier processed snacks, they seem to perform not as well as others in terms of standardized testing scores. So definitely what your child eats can affect not just their health, it can affect their mood and how they perform at school, potentially their attendance at school.
We've been talking about so much food on this segment, and people can learn how to cook through your new book called My Indian Table: Quick and Tasty Vegetarian Recipes. So tell me, where can people purchase this book? What is it all about?
Sure. So it's been a passion project. So I often was asked how I put together these meals when I would talk about recipe ideas, and people were always overwhelmed when it came to Indian food because they liked the flavor and taste, but they weren't sure how to put it together, all the different ingredients. They were not sure how time-consuming it could be. So that was the focus. The book is easy to read. It's got colorful pictures. Every recipe, I'm going to pull it up here. So this is my book, and so every recipe has a picture, and all the ingredients are easily available in regular stores, and you can use shortcuts. It's got canned beans, it's got ideas to use frozen vegetables, and you can put most of these meals together in 30 minutes or less. And if you're local, I'm happy to get you a signed copy. Just reach out to me through my website or email me, and we can coordinate a copy for you that's signed by me. Or if you'd like, you can get it on Amazon as well.
Thank you so much, Vandana, for all the great tips, and your cover of your book makes me feel hungry already. So
thanks, Hiba. I just have one more thing to add, because as school starts, often there are many kids who do have food allergies. Almost 2 kids in every classroom has some sort of food allergy, and these can be life-threatening. So it's important that if your school has some kind of food allergy policy, to please get more involved, learn about it. So maybe send your children with seed butters instead of nut butters, because that might be an easy way to prevent it. So just something to think about, so all kids are included in the process, and it's safe for everyone.
Great tip. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great night.
You too.
And Vandana just mentioned you can contact her through her email address or her website, vandanasheth.com. Her phone number is 310-408-8766. Her email is vandanasheth@gmail.com. All that information is on your screen right now. Well, that does it for NewsBreak Live. If you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you've missed any portion of the show, you can catch it all on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page. Have a great night.